Well, very great to see how many of you chose to come and be a part of this. As James mentioned, in an email I sent out last week, at least to some of you, I wanted us all to feel that what is happening here today is not just hearing about all of the extraordinary things that Ananda Worldwide is doing, and not just an appeal for our financial support, which it will be. But what's happening here today that's most meaningful is a profound exchange of energy. And in that exchange, we feed each other. As I said in my email, and we all know this, of course we do, but anytime we ask for support or help, friendship in any way, and anytime anybody says yes, it really uplifts us and gives us the feeling that we have more energy to do, to give, to share, to teach, whatever it is. So it's wonderful that our friends from the village, our brothers and sisters, came down, and it's really great that we're all here to join them, really joining forces. We have Pranaba, who you have all just seen, who is the head of the Ananda Sangha. That's his title means. He's in touch with everything and serving everywhere. It's a big title with a big job under it. And Jyoti, who's been involved in fundraising for years now, really, and has been a part of this particular great work, I think, for as long as I've known her. And of course, Mai came on board, it's now many years ago already, out of the professional big world into the big Ananda world, very different energy, but with a lot of skill and deep devotion to the work. So the two of them just do beautifully. Dion, I think most of us know, he works, serves with Ananda Online. And boy, did they do a great job last week with Inner Renewal Week or what? Yeah. And then Shama, who is in the communications department, I believe. So I won't say any more. I'll let who's ever coming to speak first will come.
Thank you, Shanti. I was just thinking as Shanti was saying that, when you think of the five of us, you're taller than she is. I didn't mean to be. But you think of that Jyoti. I remember going up to Vancouver Island back in the 1990s to do a program, because Jyoti had a group up there for Ananda outside of Nanaimo. And Mai was part of Ananda Los Angeles for quite a long time. Shama was part of our work in Spain for Ananda. And then Dion has been in quite a few places. He's been in Los Angeles, India, and certainly he went to the Ananda College up at Ananda Village. And I've been a few places with Parvati, but it just strikes me that's really how Ananda is. It's just, it's like a connection with many, many dots of light everywhere. And it's so vibrant. And, to be able to come and do this again after a number of years of not doing it is extra special. I mean, even as you felt from me during the Sunday service. But it is more than just sharing what we'll share. It is the vibration, because we really are having satsang. Satsang means more than just we get to be together. I mean, it's a wonderful way of understanding it, but it's kind of the tip of the iceberg. Satsang really means fellowship with truth with other truth seekers. It's that connection with the divine that allows satsang to be as powerful as it is. And that's what we all are doing. I mean, I've told a number of you, I've been very impressed with the Ananda Palo Alto e-newsletters, just to keep abreast of what's going on for all of you down here. And Ananda Sangha Worldwide is really reaching out beyond any locale. And, whether it's throughout this country or throughout the world. And there's been a lot more collaboration now in different ways, and I'll go over some of this for you. But it's really a time that we can now use the springboard of these last 2 years, because like all of you here, we've had creative applications of really moving a lot of energy in a lot of different ways, either building on what we did and having creative new ways, or simply coming out of the blue and having new creative things. And so there are many, many people that have been touched. And why we chose this theme in Divine Friendship relates to that it really is who we are as Ananda, that we're relating really at the heart of who we are as divine friends to all those that are open to it. You know, there's no limitation to that. There's no sense of only these people that are super connected like all of you. No, it's for many, many, many more people beyond that. And so I want to just talk about some of the areas that don't get often highlighted as much. Because you'll hear, as Shanti mentioned, Shama and Dhyan have a lot of things that they cover. I mean, they're in major worlds. And so I'm going to touch on some of the other areas of our outreach that really are significant and have grown a lot. And we're looking forward to really seeing them modify and adapt as we come back to pre-pandemic times. So one of the things is the music ministry from Ananda Worldwide. Now, after hearing Keshava play those amazing melodies with the keyboard and the cello, it's, you know, that's the heart of who we are, as Swami often said. If you want to get to know me, listen to my music. But the music ministry has really tried to make sure it's expanding out into the world at large. And so they've done a lot of creative things. One is that they've figured out how to do these multiple people from all over the world music videos. You know, they've done a number of them. And now they felt to continue doing them because they work so well to unify a sense of energy, even if we can come together. There is a reality of that larger focus of Ananda music. But even on just a grounding level of trying to get the music out beyond that approach, they start to work with an online music, what do they call it? I guess a record store and music company called Bandcamp. Sort of reminds us all of going to music camp. But so again, we're finding the vehicles that really can touch people and refreshing, revising, renewing things that we've done in the past in new, unique ways. They've also, as you know, coordinated with some of you here, the history of Ananda music. All those videos that Ananda Janaka Foundation helped to fund with grants for it. But something that perked up because we had the ability to do it. I mean, it's something that, wow, you know, because Swamiji wrote those two books, one on the story behind the story, about a little brief information about the books that he's written, and then he wrote about Tales of Songs, is that what it's called? Something like that. But about, you know, how the music came to him. And I think Bhagavad Ramesha picked up on, well, let's do a whole online video series that gives much more of that source, not only to us that have some glimpse, some understanding of it, but all those people yet to come will have this sense of, this is why the music is emphasized. With our healing prayer ministries, I alluded to during Sunday service, for me personally has grown a tremendous amount, but we have over 1,100 people that do healing prayers for Ananda Sangha worldwide. I'm sure your healing prayer ministry has grown as well. But that's a huge increase over the last few years of people feeling that not only do I want to receive prayers, I want to be an instrument of helping others by doing healing prayers. And so we have Zoom prayer sessions with Mary Kretzmann every day of the week that people tap into. She writes a blog that goes out to many more people than we had a couple years ago. So again, touching people in a way that is so needed. You know, I'm sure you guys probably did this here, but you know, after the pandemic hit, we started a phone campaign. Actually, our dear beloved Gurbai friend Anandi was instrumental in getting that happen. But we phoned, I probably phoned, and I wasn't doing that many, probably 67 people just within a period of a couple weeks. And that was a lot of other people doing similar numbers just to touch people in that way. And so we were just talking recently, how do we revise that when the pandemic ends? Because there is a transition, and transitions always have their own challenges, even if they weren't the ones that we had from the previous transition. So we're looking at that to feed people in that way. And also doing more online healing prayer courses for people, because there's a need for people to feel a deeper level of that. One of the things that's been around since 1999 that Swamiji himself really helped to initiate is Treasures Along the Path. And it's evolved to a different, more expansive experience for people. So these are the recordings of Swamiji, Swami Kriyananda. And at first in 1999, they went out to people who signed up in cassette form. And then we got into CDs. Well, I think there's over 400 people that subscribe on a monthly basis. I think there's only 35 of them that get DVDs. The rest are all live streaming. But beyond that, we realize we have these archives, hundreds and hundreds. Asha certainly probably remembers a lot of this, that we have just a huge inventory of Swamiji's talks. And so Krishna, who's in charge of this department, Treasures Along the Path, has been finding people to digitize, mainly professional people. So she was telling me that that just in the latter part of 2021, that 250 to 300 reels. So reels, remember the old reels? They were digitized. So once we have them digitized, then we can do what we want with them, getting them out or preserving them for future whatever. And so she was just telling me she found someone new, I think in the Bay Area, to do further of this digitization. I think there are several hundred cassettes that they've looked at, made sure that these are worthy items. So a lot more material, and that gets posted on Treasure's site, gets linked to other sites in a way that really provides this for people. The other thing that she's doing, she's connecting with meditation groups and collaborating with them, because they're using the resource of Treasures as a real important experience for people. And so there's much more of that. And I think even, I know with some of the other Ananda communities, there's more dialogue about how to utilize that. Then Radio Ananda. Radio Ananda was started, I don't know if anyone remembers, I don't, probably around the year 2000, 2001, I think it was. One devotee got it going, and then Swami Nalini helped with the process. And now it's really taken on more life forms. Because for a long time, if you've tuned into it, it's been just playing randomized instrumental music primarily. And then we got another channel to play, vocal music. And then what's happened lately is that now, for instance, today, Radio Ananda is broadcasting twice, 2 a.m. this morning for India, and 2 p.m. in 2 hours' time for the Americas time zone. I'm doing a special presentation. And then Jagrav, who's the main person, has been doing selected albums. Either they're chanting albums or Swami's music albums, and to focus on it, because people sometimes want more specific things. It's like if you listen to some of the streaming radio shows now, that they do specific things as well as generic things, and we've picked up on how do we make this alive for people. So there are special events, like today, Master's birthday, Valentine's Day, Swami's birthday, plus 4 Christmas events where we've developed these 1-hour programs. And some of them are hosted live with a DJ, and some of them are just pre-recorded. But again, it's saying, what are people asking for? How do we really make this divine friendship alive in their experience? And so we've been working more and more to make that real, and less of something that's just, we do Radio Ananda, but how do we enliven that experience? And I don't know if you saw, maybe some of you had, that last year when we were dealing, with the huge spikes in India, that with the COVID cases, that we did a prayer campaign, and we did Astral Ascension Ceremony daily campaign. Well, we also posted on Radio Ananda that people could access the Gayatri mantra, which is, of course, a very powerful mantra in times of need. And so there are things like that that we're looking at, refreshing our energy and making sure we're moving forward. And then the other area that's grown a lot, and I'm sure you guys have done this as well, with the Kriya Sangha. We've done a whole lot of Kriyas online. I mean, I think last year I did 4 different Kriyas, just me doing Kriya online, and then we had a bunch of others. And then we started to do the hybrid versions. Jyotish and Devi in December were there in person at the Temple of Light at the sanctuary at Ananda Village. And then we streamed it live for other people. So I think we had 400 or 500 people at that Kriya, or several hundred at least, at that Kriya with that combination. And so now we're looking at continuing to offer Kriya online for people spread far across the universe, but then doing inline ones. And now we're just trying to figure out the hybrid version, because they're a little bit more, there's some sensitivity about making work with hybrid when we go further into having in-person things. But again, the Kriya Sangha, Deva Leela, who is in charge of that, told me this in terms of what's happened. So from the year 2010 to 2020, the online students for the Kriya preparation course, leading people up to taking Kriya, in 10 years, we had 159 people in total for 10 years. In the year 2021, there were 192 students online taking Kriya prep. So you can see some of these areas are really being increased in terms of the energy, the magnetism, how we're reaching people. But now you get to hear Shama and Dhyan, and just make sure you're grounded in your seat when you hear this stuff. So, Shama?
Hello everyone. My name is Shama, and I served in the communications department in Ananda Village. We could say that Ananda has been created with 2 principles. One is to help people to find God and to serve God with others. So the serving God with others is the main goal for the communications department, and marketing being one of the aspects for this. But we see the world marketing doesn't have the best light, and it has been used for pushing products and thoughts in people that we as customers maybe we don't need it, or even it's not good for us. But the way that Ananda approaches this is completely different. Personally, we all practice the teachings, and we see how these change and transform our life. And it's from this joy and from this enthusiasm from our own practice that we want to share this with everyone and create these divine friendships. Recently, we have been seeing in all the offerings and courses and programs that we offer an increased demand specifically for Paramhansa Yogananda, Kriya Yoga, and self-realization techniques. And guess what? Ananda has what they are looking for. So in 2022, we have a lot of goals. I want to sum up some for you. One of them is to keep offering a lot of free content through emails on our website. And this area in particular, it's being developed with a team with teachers, ministers, and Kriyacharyas of Ananda around the world. So creating this content in an unified and worldwide way. Also, we are giving a lot of energy and focus to the Ananda course in meditation, which is one of the doorways that we have for people to try and know what Ananda offers, either if they want to learn how to meditate, but also if they want to go deeper in their spiritual life through Kriya Yoga. So in this course, for the last 2 years, we had almost 2,000 students. Of those, 265 became Kriya bands. So those are big, big numbers. And another area for this year, and this is big, Ananda Communications Department is teaming up with the Expanding Light Retreat. So we are creating new strategies and systems and goals to reopen the retreat and invite people to come and join, but also giving some focus on specific programs like the Karma Yoga program, which is a wonderful way to experience living in community, and also Springtime at Ananda, the Festival of Tulips, which is about to happen. So we will look forward to see you there and share some time together again. And as Paramhansa Yogananda says, if Wrigley's can advertise to get people to chew gum, why I shouldn't advertise for people to get into good ideas? So another area that I would like to share with you briefly is about Ananda Español, very close to my heart. And the core team of Ananda Español in the Spanish ministry is based in Ananda Village, but their team is growing and expanding in such a beautiful and international way. So right now, Gurubhais from Boston, Argentina, Mexico, and Spain are teaming up and reaching hundreds of people in the Spanish-speaking world. Of all the programs that they offer, we can say that 4 of them could be the pillars to share master's teachings and to especially share the vibration, which that's the main goal. So these programs are the Path of Kriya, meditation, teacher training, the new, in Ananda Español, Ananda Yoga teacher training, and also the ambassador program. This ambassador program is specifically designed to help people to tune deeper into these teachings with Yogananda, Swami Kriyananda, Ananda, and to give them the opportunity to be good Ananda leaders wherever they are, in this case, in the Spanish-speaking world. So we can have the best ideas, systems, the best know-how of marketing, but it won't be enough. It's really, for all of us, through the joy and the enthusiasm that we have every day when we practice these teachings, which is going really to touch people's heart, to create these divine friendships. So it doesn't matter what we do, where we are, is through our own practice and feeding this enthusiasm, which is going to be the doorway for God and the masters to flow through us and touch people's hearts and make this happen. Thank you so much. So I want to invite Tyagi Dian to talk about Online with Ananda.
Hello, friends. It is great to be here. I just have to say that it brings back a lot of wonderful memories because I grew up in Bay Area, and coming here with the family here is really uplifting. So, Online with Ananda is the department I serve in. And all throughout the online world, we're just seeing unprecedented growth, exponential growth, both in numbers, but also in the depth of people who are coming. And we're seeing real-life example of what Yogananda said, that his teachings would spread like wildfire. And I started thinking about a wildfire, maybe because I live in Northern California, it's sort of an imminent reality. But I started thinking about how does a wildfire spread? And it's really in 2 primary ways. You have the main fire, which expands from its core of strength and intensity. And that represents the centers and communities of deep devotees coming together and picking their lives up by the highest ideals of master. And then you have embers, which is actually statistically how this fire spreads rapidly, at least in this sense, that it can travel up to 5 miles and start a new fire, which then burns just as bright as the original fire, and then it joins the main fire. And that really represents our online efforts to take the embers of divine love, of friendship, of Kriya Yoga, of really supporting the individual's search for God and spreading that out in the world in a very dynamic and powerful way. And we're seeing the results of that because we're serving souls in more than 100 countries. And in 2021 alone, we've seen nearly 6,800 enrollments in some 126 programs. Now, that's a lot of people. And behind all of our programs, all of our offerings, we always primarily focus on the individual search for God, as Shama was saying. That through Path of Kriya, through the other courses, through the live events, we're trying to give people teachings, techniques, and of course that one-on-one support so that they can feel empowered to take their next step spiritually. And as a result of that next step, and as a result of that growing attunement, they themselves naturally they find themselves in an interesting position they probably did not expect, that they want to share that joy. That they feel that whatever they're feeling inside themselves, the depth, their growing attunement, is something that, like a rose, naturally gives a fragrance. They're finding that their ability and interest to share the joy is growing. So of course we want to support that. And we do that in a natural way by always emphasizing lifestyle. As we see in community, it's not merely about learning teachings. It's not merely about even practicing the techniques. It's about building a lifestyle which puts God first. And so we support that by representing that. And people are finding themselves in a position where their family dynamic is changing. Their interactions with their coworkers are changing. And so they're seeing themselves opening as a channel. And then that inspires them. How can I go deeper into this? Meditation teacher training online, spiritual counseling online, Ananda Yoga teacher training online. That's a new one from 21, which is amazing. And again, we're just seeing hordes of people coming and looking for training. Now, one interesting sort of comment we hear quite often with the online world is people are not expecting to tap into the element of spiritual community. They showed up, they knocked on our door, looking for techniques, looking for instruction, and all of a sudden they saw real people caring about where they were in life. How are they doing? How are you doing with the practices? I'm fortunate enough to be part of step 2 in the Path of Kriya. And as part of that step, we had these one-on-one meetings with people. And it's just amazing when you first look somebody in the eyes and they know they're connecting with somebody who sincerely wants to see them flourish in life, no matter where their path may take them, but to know that they have spiritual friends in this world. And as a result of that, we're seeing our growth in the virtual community exponential growth. Last year alone, we saw about 150 new enrollments, making the virtual community about 360 active members, which is an amazing sort of representation that people are looking much more consciously for community, for like-minded souls, so that they can feel that they're part of a family. And Ananda, I think, has a unique contribution in that way, because we feel so attuned to that in our way, and we try to channel that through our online efforts. You know, Yogananda Ji said that friendship is one of the greatest gifts in this world because God's love can express itself through our friends. And this is really the aim, one could say the drive behind all of our offerings. You know, we have our weekly meetings. It always comes back to how can we support people? How can we design our courses so that they can go deeper? How can we make our sometimes numbing amount of admin be not just admin, but always remember it's people on the other end, and always make that extra effort to connect with souls, to support individuals. And that is something that is so joyful to bear witness, because like everyone here, I have come to so deeply appreciate what Ananda has to offer. Not only the supreme teaching of inner communion with Christ, but to share that communion, to share that joy with our fellow Guru Bhais, and seeing that taking place, the roots diving deeper in online in the people's lives, but also to see that there's many avenues to share that joy. It's really, you can just see that Master spreading north, south, east, and west. So thank you all for your support in that.
Hello, friends. My name is Mai, for those of you that don't know me, and I, along with Jyoti and Pushpa and Emily, run the fundraising department. Shanti mentioned that I come from that background, but fundraising for the Ananda world is completely different than fundraising for the corporate world. And I had Ishani create a beautiful video to try to represent what this community and this family is about.
Hello, great souls. It's so incredible to be here with all of you. And I'm a wee bit nervous, but nonetheless, here we are. So you get the idea that we've chosen the theme, Divine Friendship, this year. And before I share with you a couple of brief testimonials from folks, I'd like to read to you from the foreword of Swamiji's book, In Divine Friendship. So I'd invite you to just close your eyes for a jiffy and listen to these words about what is a divine friend. Imagine someone who never judges, who loves you despite your faults, who sees you in terms of your highest spiritual potential and is totally committed to helping you realize that potential. Imagine someone who gives you strength and understanding, seeking nothing in return, who offers but never imposes his views. Imagine someone who is always forgiving, respectful, and loving, even under the most adverse circumstances. So, friends, we're all charged to become and live as divine friends. You've heard what's happening in our outreach efforts. Our virtual community, I'm going to share a testimonial from someone in the virtual community. It's an incredible gift in my world to see people's testimonials, to see them express their gratitude for all they're receiving. But in every conscious delivery of their gratitude, they too are serving as divine friends for others. Just imagine the ripple effect from all that happens. How someone consciously living what I just read to you from Divine Friendship, just imagine the ripple effect in our world. So, for the virtual community, what happened was this. A gal who has lived at Ananda Village for over 40 years was suffering the effects of the pandemic, shall we say, and wanted to be more connected. She joined the virtual community, basically. And in joining the virtual community, she put it out there in the forum. I'll read you what she said. I'm just curious to hear how you first found the virtual community. Still being a newcomer myself, it would be wonderful to read your story. You can't believe what happened. People wrote. People from all over the world have written and shared their stories, but this is one. I first learned about the virtual community while doing lessons in meditation course through our course instructors, Jitendra and Sagar. They would have course satsang, which was also open to the virtual community. After my third course, I was missing the satsang and got curious, so took a 14-day preview to check it out, and then I'm here. Now I am going to an Ananda community, which was introduced to me through the same instructors and is just a half-hour drive away. All the while, I am connected to the virtual community also. With divine blessings and Guru's grace, I got introduced to both worlds, a virtual community and physical communities. Om Guru. Isn't that something? You likely know him. So, on another note, I was going to share a different testimonial, but this morning after sadhana, I was inspired to share with you something personal. And so, here's the deal. We're all here. We contribute our support to the worldwide work. The outreach ministries are vast. The people touched far and wide. So I was in Canada, as Pranava mentioned, and it was an advertisement, not an email or a Facebook ad, but a newspaper advertisement that shared in Calgary, Alberta, where I had lived previously, about a course coming. There were 2 ministers going up to do a program in Calgary. This is back in the early 90s. And I was on Vancouver Island. I had moved from Calgary. So my pals decided that they would check it out. Fast forward a year from that, and we all landed together. It was 1993. It was the anniversary of Yogananda's birth. And we came to the Expanding Light. We didn't have a clue about anything. The first person I met was Karen Gamow. She was offering brochures. She would know it was the packets, the guest packages. And I looked into her eyes. I just couldn't believe it. I saw joy. And I saw such kindness and welcome. And then it was our first meal. We were in the Expanding Light dining room. Hundreds of people are there. You all know who were there at the time. There were 500 people. Swamiji was standing in the elevated area of the dining room, all by himself. I'm in the food line getting my food. I look over and I see Swami. And I thought, it's now or never. And then a helicopter landed in my heart. My heart was just pounding, and I'm not shy. But it was just extraordinary. I walked over to him. I was about 6 feet away. He looked at me and he said, "Don't be afraid, I'm your friend." Divine friendship. We had an exchange, and I remember leaving feeling different. I knew I was vibrating on another level, but what it was I was enveloped at Ananda as an outsider in divine friendship. Swamiji has charged us to live this life as divine friends, to share it with others. And your support allows for so much to happen. It's happened throughout the years, and it will continue. In different ways it will be manifest, but outreach, divine friendship can change lives, and will. So, are we having our... Okay, so there we go.
Come gather round, we'll sing the blues away. Dawn now is breaking, and the mountains say, it's only light can make the darkness run. Lift up your head, greet the rising sun. Greet the rising sun. Friends, come with me. We'll chant of battles won, shots not of anger. Joy will be our gun. Before the light, the veils of sorrow rend. In ecstasy, all delusions end. All delusions end.
To be a friend truly to others
is to be that kind of friend which uplifts them, and that means to befriend your own self by attuning yourself to your own higher nature.
Being a part of this spiritual path, I am going to put my energy in and join my Guru Bhais around the world in helping spread this light.
God has given us a role to play, to live in as high a state of consciousness as we can and radiating harmony, integration, and oneness.
When people are really harmonious, others come because they want to be in their presence. Be a friend of others in God, and you will find that God will befriend you through others. There's joy in the heavens, a smile on the mountains, and melody sings everywhere. The flowers are all laughing to welcome the morning. Your soul is as free as the air.
So, just to say it, you have an opportunity today to make a gift. Many of you have made your gifts online and will do so afterwards. It's always really helpful for our budgeting and planning purposes and to know sort of where we're headed. If you could fill out a pledge card so that we know that even if you're doing a gift later, we'll have that information. And so everyone is invited to come up. No matter whether you're offering a gift today or not, it's our blessing to share a gift with you. So you can come up and offer your gift, offer yourselves, and just have a wee moment of gratitude for Master and Swamiji, and we'll offer you a gift in return. So, God bless you all. What an incredible gift we are to one another.
Thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. thou mine, be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine, be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine, be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine, be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine.
Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashai, Swami Shri Yukteswar, Beloved Guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, Saints of all religions, we offer ourselves to Thee. Thank you for your presence in all our divine friendships, that we always remember that we are Thine, and together with others, may we help to bring peace and joy into this world. Om, peace. Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your sweetness is very real. God bless.